what's the one spot that you like that we haven't talked about? You say, I hope they address this, whether free agency, draft, whatever.
Yeah, I think everyone talks about linebacker quite a bit, and I'm not totally sold on the need to address that right now. And the reason I say that is because I do think there is some growing that's going to happen with all those young guys, Holcomb and Jamin. And I think if they get a veteran guy in here to play a little bit more and give him a mentorship role, I think that would be outstanding. I think there's the other thing that's great to know is there's a very deep linebacker draft this year.
Right.
The kid Muma out of Wyoming.
Chad Muma.
Gets like, I haven't really watched a ton of them, but everyone I talked to was like, oh, he's the next Sean Lee. He looks like Sean Lee. He plays like Sean Lee. And when you make that type of comparison, especially given the recent history of Wyoming linebackers, you say to yourself, this guy's going to be tremendous value. And the crazy thing is he might be there in the second or third round, which is great value, and it would elevate the linebacker room. So I don't think you need to go out and say we need to target Nakobe Dean or Lloyd from Utah to make this group better, because this is a deep draft class at the position. I mean, another guy that really stands out, just because we're talking draft, is the kid from Montana State. His name is Troy Anderson. At the Senior Bowl, everybody was there to watch Muma, but they came out talking about Anderson. He runs, he's physical, he understands how to fit on run plays in a nice way. He can coverage, he can cover. I mean, he played quarterback at Montana State. He played tight end, he played receiver, he played running back. The guy is just a really big, freaky athlete. I got a kind of funny story. So when I was in the they have like a medical hallway. I was just standing out in front, waiting for an interview, and this guy walked by, and it was Troy Anderson. And I was like, he was so big and so physical that I thought D linemen were going tomorrow, and then I looked him up, and obviously it's Troy Anderson, but that's the kind of physical freak that he is. And he might be around in the third round. So again, like, there's opportunities to fill that. I think a spot that I would look at, just because of the way this draft is composed at the moment, is edge rusher. They have some really dynamic, twitched up guys that would be a nice rotational piece at edge rusher. Like, you can get a guy all the way into the fourth round who shows tremendous twitch, tremendous athleticism. And the reason I say that, people are like, oh, look at all this draft capital we've invested on defensive line. And I would agree with you. But if you look at elite defensive lines, they have almost like a hockey style rotation, right? They have 4 guys that come in, spell the first 4 guys, come back out. And having some depth there, I think, just makes Chase and Montez more effective in pass rushing situations if they need to be. And just having another person who can rush the passer is never a bad thing. And especially with this draft being so dense in that category, I think that's always important to consider.
Well, listen, I think 2 things you can never have enough of on defense is edge rushers and cornerbacks. And
yes,
I would always, if you have a chance to add somebody there, it could be really good, because I think, as we saw last year, you can't count on those 2 guys to do everything or to be there all year. You don't know. And when you look at the finances of it, are they going to have to make a decision with these 2 guys, with Sweat and Young, in coming years? So if you can get someone else in there, I think you want to always build depth there. So even if it's beyond, there are a couple of guys even beyond the 4th round that could be interesting at that spot.
Yep.